Matchweek 27. City almost slip at Everton, but hold on. Not without controversy, however. United, who are tasked with Watford, end up dropping the ball and dropping points as they draw 0-0. Jekyll and Hyde Hotspur and title contenders Liverpool thrash leads 4-0 and 6-0, leading to the sack of Bielsa. All that and everything from the match day, 27 games, along with the additional makeup games. This is the Premiership Perusal podcast.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs, and the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
We're live again.
We're live.
Back in action.
Back in the saddle.
Everyone's favorite Premier League dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Just briefly, moments ago, I had a heater going because it's very cold, and I partially melted my mouse, I believe, and it's not working anymore. So, no mouse episode. What can you do? Unfortunate. Maybe one day it'll come back from the dead, but today is not the day. And speaking of coming back from the dead, none other than Burnley Football Club.
Oh my gosh. Was this the first game of the... It was, wasn't it? All right.
Of Wednesday, yes.
Yes. All right. To the lineups we go. Pope, Tarkovsky, me, Roberts, Peters, Cork, Brownhill, McNeil, Lennon, Voot, Veg, Horst, J. Rodriguez. For Tottenham, Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Davies, Højbjerg, Royale, Sessegnon, Bentancur, Heung-min Son, Kane, Kulishevsky. We talked about last week before we left, we tried to give Burnley the good vibes, the good memes, make sure that's going for him.
Absolutely.
And it carried over.
There was only one possible outcome of Tottenham beating Man City.
Yeah,
And that
followed
was
up with a
to
loss
lose to Burnley.
Fast start for Burnley, couple dangerous crosses, really testing Tottenham early. I mean, they were able to... they didn't outpossess Tottenham, I don't believe, in this one, but I mean, they virtually had the same passing accuracy, had more shot attempts throughout the game. So, yeah, I mean, the first 15 minutes, they had the majority of possession, though, and they had every chance of the first 15 minutes. Wasn't until about the 20-minute mark, Tottenham kind of got back in the game with a little possession, but didn't really result in much. Cleared crosses. Burnley able to deal with what Tottenham was putting out there in attack, which we've seen from teams that just kind of, make Tottenham beat them through possession, right?
Yeah. No easy scapegoats like against Man City where you just hoof it down the left-hand side or something and get some easy goals. Burnley, they make you work for your goals.
Yes. Rodriguez with a chance, but not able to take it very well. I just thought that, Tottenham really were struggling to get a semblance of a chance that would result in a shot on target. I mean, it was partially due to passing, partially due to just like the dynamic runs. It didn't seem like they were really there in the first half. But they did have a chance to break on the counter right before half, but Son, head down, takes the shot. He had Kane wide open if he passes. But what are you going to do when you got that goal scoring mentality? Second half, Tottenham open up, free kick, set piece routine, results in a header off the bar. Tottenham with some possession after for about 5 minutes. Burnley back on the front foot around 55 minutes in, somewhere in that range. Burnley's defense in this game, especially in the second half, a little scrambled at times for some reason, but always able to come up with the crucial block or clearance. And you know what? The rain and wind was picking up, and that just means one thing for Burnley. It's just culminating in a goal. Big save, 68th minute on Wout Weghorst from Dwight McNeil. Kulishevsky had a couple curling shots, one off possession, and was cleared near the line, the other just inches wide on the counterattack. But then we get the goal, set piece, free kick to the back post. Ben Mee heads it in. Romero, pretty decent game at that point, but gets absolutely, as Sam would say, postered by Mr. Ben Mee.
Get dunked on.
Not a ton after that. Burnley able to kind of hold on that 1-0 victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is, we know Tottenham is a counterattacking team,
Yeah.
and Burnley is just gonna not let you counterattack really at all.
Yeah.
And they like to sit back and just. I didn't like the midfield selection out of Tottenham, going with Bentancur and Højbjerg. That's just, you need some creativity in there. I mean, I don't know who you're gonna go with on that, but
Yeah, I mean, it feels like they rely a little, especially last couple games, on Sessegnon a lot too, getting forward. To be fair, he's been a little better since he got pulled in like the 20th minute or whatever that was. But I don't know. Emerson Royale just does nothing for me ever, so it's pointless to have him out there.
yeah, they just seem like they're stuck into one play style, and it's like only on the counterattack.
Yeah.
So, but
I would say if there's one bright spot for Tottenham, Kulishevsky again looked pretty decent out there. Other than that, not a ton going for him. As far as Burnley go, another damn good game for Josh Brownhill, especially in the defensive part of the game. A couple of chances in attack, but nothing super crazy. But, and McNeil's kind of playing a little better lately. So I don't know that they might as well not ever play Jay Rodriguez. I don't know what he provides.
yeah,
I get you got to rotate for Cornet, but it's like, I don't know. I guess the other chance is Vidra, who gets in the spots. He just is so terrible he can't convert ever.
Vidra, or like it did Ashley Barnes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but it's okay because they have Wout Weghorst out there
they do.
who will carry their team to 1-0 victories forever.
Absolutely. So, good result for Burnley, as we requested from them, going into the second game of Wednesday. Watford versus Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. To the lineups. Ben Foster, Kamara, Cathcart, Femenia, Samir, Louza, Cleves, Sissoko, Josh King, Ismail Yassar, Manuel Dennis. For Palace, Butland, Mitchell, Guehi, Anderson, Klein, Koyate, Will Hughes, Gallagher, Olise, Zaha, and Mateta.
Just first things first. This Palace lineup, that is
You like it a lot.
scrumptious.
Yeah, you like it a lot.
It
I like
has
it.
to be said.
I like it a lot too. This is probably the only thing I would say is maybe. I mean, you can't really sit Wolf because he's been in decent form, but and so is Mateta. So it's like you can't really get Edward in there, but that's the only thing I would say.
And my first impression from the Watford lineup is it's too light in midfield, I think.
Yeah,
With the three forwards.
I just don't know. Like, Assar is kind of a midfielder the way he drops back, but he's not going to provide a ton defensively. It's just I've said it a couple podcasts ago, or maybe even last podcast. Why is Josh King out there at this point? I don't know what he does.
That hat trick against Everton really cemented his spot.
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't get it. Even if it's another center back somehow, like that would probably be better than Josh King. So, to the game, teams kind of feeling each other out, and most possession plays through Palace early on. Have an early chance, or not chance, but a shout for a penalty on Gallagher. I wouldn't say it was, but I guess, you got to do what you got to do and try to win games out here in Palace.
Yes.
But they do get a goal. Palace possession plays through Gallagher, up the wing, crosses it in. wasn't fully cleared. Mateta like gathers on the edge of the box with his back to net, like spinning turn shot. Wasn't that great. I thought it went in just right away, but there's a little deflection off Femenia. Goes by Foster. 1-0 early on. Watford come right back down after conceding, win a corner, and then Musa Sissoko, first goal for him, wins a header over Gallagher in front of Butland. It's a great little run there by Musa Sissoko. Hasn't done virtually anything for them but missed chances, and maybe once in a while plays okay in midfield. So nice, get something from him.
Yeah.
Seeing as how you get virtually nothing
He has
from
a nice
midfield.
run like once a game at least.
Yeah, and then
But
he
it
just
doesn't
has a
result in
terrible
anything
shot.
or it's either a terrible shot or just nothing happens.
Real Madrid zone.
Yeah.
Musa Sissoko. Chance for Palace. Samir gives the ball away, but then takes it off Mateta on the edge of the box. Leads Watford pushing all the way into a chance, but Dennis heads it high. Very unfortunate. I would have backed Dennis to convert that one. Just not good. Watford low possession from 20th minute to about the 30th minute before Palace kind of ramp up the pressure and possession once more. Watford defense just has issues all over. Just complicating things, I think, is the best way to put it. Just trying to pass out when they should just probably clear it, or trying to dribble out. And I've seen it before with this defense, no matter who's in it. It seems like they will pass it up to like Kuchka and he'll have his back to the ball and someone's immediately on him just going to take it off. It's like, just get it out. Just clear it. You're not going to build out from the back like that. So, another chance for Palace. Forces Foster to make a save, which forces a corner. Palace get the goal to make it 2-1. Tyreek Mitchell, Sam's guy, out wide, trying to get the angle, send it in. Once he does, great cross, terrific touch, and a banger of a finish from Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, good to see him back on the score sheet.
That's what he does. Second half, kind of open for Palace, I thought. Had a big chance on the 51st minute. Mateta goes past three Watford defenders on the counter. Can't play it across 6-yard box to Elise. Had the chance for the sweaty goal. Could not convert. Back and forth spells of possession. Both sides. Nothing really threatening, I thought, in the second half. It was kind of a little lackluster. And then massive chance for Watford. Cleared out for a corner. But Watford was blocked. Dennis skies the shot. Could have made it 2-2. Does not. Palace kind of in control, seeing it out for the rest of the half. Wilf, he seals it, makes it 3-1. Poor defense by Watford, just committing to Ayew, who crosses it all the way to Zaha, other side of the box. Slots it, and then Wilf adds a fourth, which was really out of nowhere. Great finish. Very reminiscent of the Norwich goal. 4-1.
Crystal Palace wins the Roy Hodgson Derby.
Unbelievable. Even though it's completely believable.
Yeah, you got to say, this has been Watford's, maybe their first really poor performance under Hodgson. Kind of uncharacteristic how, so far they've been pretty organized.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't
Was the
been...
Norwich game under him, or was that still Ranieri? I think that was Ranieri's last game.
That was Ranieri's last game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know. The decision to play the 4-3-3, like you say...
Especially since
Josh
they've been
King.
going 4-4-2 for how long?
Yeah.
And I don't know. In a way, it was that, but at the same time, it's like you can't expect much out of Sarr in defense, so it really is a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
So
and you have Josh King, who's just gonna
out there,
kind of a waste. So Good win for Crystal Palace. Good morale booster. Watford, you're running out of games to pick up points.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, we've talked about how we don't really dabble much in the expected goals in this one, but I'm pretty sure Palace's expected goals was like very low. It might have been like 1 or like 1.5 in this game. I didn't think there's any like crazy goals in this one in terms of, something that Palace was incapable of. So I was very surprised by that. But, as far as Watford go, got to iron out the defense if you're going to stay up.
Speaking about ironing out defenses,
there is no defense to iron out.
There is no defense to iron out. It's Liverpool versus Leeds United. The death of Marcelo Bielsa.
The beginning of the end was
right here.
This might have been the final nail in the coffin even before the Tottenham game.
Yeah. Into the lineups. Alisson, Van Dijk, Robertson, Matip, Alexander-Arnold, Fabinho, Thiago, Curtis Jones, Mane, Salah, and Luis Diaz. For Leeds, Meslier, Luke Ayling, Firpo, Dallas, Struijk, Forshaw, Rafinha, Rodrigo, Harrison, Click, and Dan James. It's a very attacking lineup from Leeds there.
What else are you going to do? You don't have any
away.
defense anyways. Just throw it all out there. And what are you going to put in Mr. Charlie Cresswell?
Yeah,
Mr. Shackleton?
It does make you wonder why. I mean, I thought Cresswell and
they're playing fine,
Shackleton
but
did good enough to be...
When you have Junior Firpo out there and he's just trash, you got to keep rolling with him because you spend money on him, obviously.
I think Struijk is pretty bad. Luke Ayling obviously is a right back.
Yeah.
I'd rather see Cresswell out there, a natural center back.
Yeah, I mean, with this lineup, I feel like you're putting so much on support guys like Ayling and Dallas that they can't even just be okay like they were, let alone be pretty decent like last season, because you just don't have your main guys out there. I mean, you're getting Rafinha back and stuff, and Harrison's another main guy, but other than that, it's like,
Yeah,
like you're still rocking Forshaw and Click.
Yeah, in the midfield, there's no semblance of a holding midfielder. You have Forshaw, who's just, I don't know, he's been terrible. I don't know why he plays every week.
He just kind of gets some tackles and some interceptions, but he is like king of messing up passes and giving the ball away when he has to do something.
And he seems like he's always out of position.
Yeah, even at Middlesbrough, he wasn't very good, but then again, when Leeds signed him, they're probably like, oh, well, he'll be like a backup or something.
Yeah.
And they have no depth, so they're like, we have to play this guy.
So anyways, getting into the game, early penalty shout for Dan James, closes down on Alisson, who misses the ball and takes out James. And
yeah, it's a weird one.
It seemed like it should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
But they didn't call it.
What are you going to do?
So, unlucky for Leeds. And then 14th minute, Liverpool get a penalty after Stuart Dallas handball. Mo Salah steps up, converts to make it 1-0.
This is how the template's been going for Leeds games. It's just like early conceding and just you can sense this like defeat setting in just early on. Even though they'll respond with a good chance, but they won't take it, and that even just digs them further down.
Yeah. 27th minute, Rafinha scores, but the flag is offside.
Yeah, I thought they had chances to counter in this one, and they just
weren't
able to take advantage of it.
They definitely did. And then 30th minute, Mata makes it 2-0. Just
if you needed any proof that there was no midfield, Joel Matip just walking in.
He just walks through the midfield, says, well, don't mind if I do, play a 1-2 with Mo Salah, gets it back. Nice finish.
Especially for a center back.
Again, Forshaw, terrible. This game, you could tell it was going a very bad place.
Yeah.
And then 33rd minute, Liverpool get another penalty, very soft one for Mane.
He was clipped, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it was more so the fact that he was the last man back. But didn't get a red card because it was called a penalty, so they have to, like, double jeopardy or whatever. I don't know. You can't give up a penalty and red card at the same time anymore, I guess. Salah steps up 3-0. And then just before halftime, Salah has a chip over Meslier that is cleared off the line. So it goes into halftime, 3-0. Very depressing for Leeds. And at this point, it's not going to get any better.
Yeah, Liverpool kind of just holding the ball, still creating chances.
80th minute, Mane scores after a beautiful team play from Salah to Henderson, who plays it across to Mane.
Yeah, the Henderson first-time pass on that through ball from Salah was right across the box. Beautiful.
Very nice. And then 90th minute, Mane cleans up a save from Meslier after a shot from Divock Origi.
It's hilarious to hear like how much Meslier concedes, and yet you look at these games and he still has like way more saves than like goals conceded. He'll have like he conceded I think 6 in this game, but he had like 8 saves.
He's
In
got
the
a lot of
Tottenham
work.
game, he has like 6 saves and concedes 4. It's just so bad.
And then just to top it off, 90 plus 3, Van Dijk free header from the corner to make it 6. And that's just
That's all she wrote,
a bad one from Leeds.
to say the least. I get it, going for it, you know. And what's the difference? I mean, they play a defensive lineup. Okay, so you lose, 2-0? Like, I don't know. I don't think it matters. You lose 6-0, you lose 1-0, 2-0, but...
I mean, there's got to be something to be said about losing 6 now. That's got to be pretty depressing.
Yeah, and they also lost to City, 6 or 7-0 too, so... And then you get dragged through the mud by United, literally, in that 4-2 loss in the Tottenham game. So,
but really, they have no one to blame but themselves for not bolstering the squad in the summer.
yeah, I think that's one thing that people don't really talk about with Leeds, and it's not a part of it's gonna fall on Bielsa and play style a little bit, but I mean, when you're spending big money, which Leeds are, let's not kid ourselves, they're spending big time, and you're spending money like 50 mil on like Rodrigo, and you're spending big time money just across the board, 30 mil for Dan James.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you should be spending like 10 mil like Palace on like some championship guys just to get all right dudes.
Yeah. Maybe get a guy in on loan or something.
And I mean, and it's... Leeds fans would probably say, well, we tried to get Gallagher, remember, on loan, and he just chose Palace over Leeds. And it's like, yeah, that doesn't mean you should be like, okay, we didn't get the one guy. Let's just ignore that then.
Even if they got Gallagher, it still would have been bad because...
He's attack-minded.
Yeah.
They need not a direct replacement for Calvin Phillips, but even if it's like just an Oliver Skip kind of guy where it's like he's literally just a 6. He'll tackle the ball in midfield and stuff, and he'll play it side to side or back, but they just need a guy like that.
Yeah, really, without Calvin Phillips, they just play without any central
Midfield.
defensive midfielder, whereas even when they have Calvin Phillips out there, it's a lot of work for one guy. Mm-hmm. Like, in reality, they should be replacing him with 2 midfielders that are more defensively focused.
Yeah.
And allow their attacking players to go to work.
Yeah, there's
on the counter.
definitely work to be done in the summer for Leeds. But, is the mouse good?
No, it's
still fried.
It's dead. It's dead. Unfortunate.
Yeah, but no, there's work to be done for Leeds in the summer, and yeah, they're gonna have to focus more on depth if they stay up. Like, this is
crazy, and you gotta
especially
say,
since you're not even playing the young guys anymore. Which I guess if your job's on the line like Bielsa's has been for a while, you're probably gonna go down with the guys you spent money on, rather than young guys. You just trust them more, but I don't know.
Anyways, moving on to 2 teams that are very much not dead. A rematch of the previous week. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Like
2
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Arsenal versus Wolves, this time at the Emirates Stadium. Into the lineups. For Arsenal, Ramsdale, Tierney, White, Gabriel, Suarez, Partey, Saka, Odegaard, Xhaka, Martinelli, and Lacazette.
Thought it was kind of defensive loaded in a way, or a little, not as attacking as it can be for Arsenal in midfield.
Yeah. I think the surprise in this one was that there was no Smith Rowe. He was out. Ended up being COVID. For Wolves, Sa, Cody, Kilman, Saiss, Aït-Nouri, Neves, Semedo, Moutinho, Jimenez, Podence, and Hwang Hee-chan. So a few changes from the last time they played Arsenal. I think Aït-Nouri came in. Kilman, Chan came in.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was a better lineup on paper, you would say, than their most previous one.
Yeah.
And this game, honestly, it went pretty similar to the last game, except this time
A few more chances taken.
Wolves actually took one of their chances, and really, it was poor defending from Gabriel.
Gabriel, that was bad.
Yeah, that was,
I gave him the curse of saying he was really close, like in terms of top tier defenders in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he is still a great defender.
Yeah.
When you have young guys like this, these kind of mistakes will happen.
He's still, I would say if you rank the tiers of center backs, it'd probably be Van Dijk and Diaz one, and then there'd be like a second tier of like Gabriel. This year, probably Connor Cody with how good Wolves have been defensively and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, maybe put Thiago Silva in the first or second. You could make a case for either.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. But Arsenal, playing some good attacking football again, creating chances, and it's just kind of more so frustrating going down a goal and then having these chances but not converting on the chances.
And then to keep in mind, Wolves definitely had chances of their own
for
too.
Sure.
Raul Jimenez just had a really good chance but completely fluffed the shot.
Yeah, it could have been a much different game. I mean, Wolves go up 2-0, and that's pretty tough to come back from
against their defense.
Yeah. Really, this one, it goes into the second half. Arsenal still pushing for the goal. They make some substitutions.
Yeah, Semedo getting hurt.
Semedo
for Wolves
gets
kind of hurt because he was playing pretty well. I thought Wolves' defense, was able to hold up really well. And I mean, that was just part of Arsenal kind of being a little more defensive minded in their lineup too. So
this was a game where you really would have liked to have Smith Rowe in there.
Just a dynamic
Martinelli
edge
doesn't
to it.
necessarily help when you're playing a team that's defensive like Wolves can be at times.
Yeah.
But there's a substitution. Pepe comes on for Martinelli in the 71st minute. And then
Look good.
Yeah, he looked good. Eddie Nketiah comes on. He makes some moves happen. 82nd minute where the game changes. Pepe with the ball from Nketiah. The nice turn and shot.
Yeah.
Scores a huge goal. Pepe's back.
Maybe
Arteta says he's come back a new player from the African Cup of Nations. That'd be something that'd be great for Arsenal.
Which is strange because he played so well at the end of last season.
Yeah.
And then to start this year, it was back to old Pepe. And it's like, oh, well, this is kind of shitty. But now, maybe he's back to end of last season Pepe. Maybe he's just a second half player. And Arsenal have to build that into, when they're accounting for their squad in the summer and be like, well, we'll have goal scoring from Pepe in the second half of the year.
It is really just a curious case of Pepe.
The curious case of Pepe.
Everyone knows that, he's got a lot of talent.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, it seems like he tries to do too much a lot of the time. And like most of the times, he could just make a simple pass. And instead he tries to take on a defender and then loses the ball.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating. And that's an area where he still needs to grow. But he's a player who can work well in tight spaces.
Yep.
And we saw that with the goal there. And, Arsenal still pushing for the...
How about the weird substitution thing with, like, Wolves, whereas, like, Jimenez was going to come off, but then he didn't come off, and he was, like, yelling at the ref because he's like, I don't think I'm coming off.
Yeah.
But they're like, you got to go over because his number's on the board.
Right.
And then it turns out Jimenez didn't go off. It was, I think, Podence got subbed off or something.
Yeah, let's be real here. Wolves were pulling
that was
off
tactical by the bench.
A
that was by the bench.
World-class, time-wasting effort from Wolves. That was...
You got to respect it, though. It didn't work out, but you got to respect it.
It didn't work out. Very close to working out and getting a point at least. But it was very frustrating. Very poorly handled by the referee. Who was the ref? Martin Atkinson. Yeah, he was head in the clouds.
Couple saves towards the end for Saab, but then Mr. Lacazette puts it away. Even though I don't know how this wasn't just a goal. I don't know why it's no.
It wasn't going in.
I don't care. It should have counted for him.
Yeah.
Given
Unlucky
the fact,
for Jose Sá.
given the fact that he skied like every other chance he had that game or put it way wide, it felt like. So,
yeah.
big win for Arsenal for their top four ambitions. Unfortunate for Wolves. They lose both games against Arsenal. Still have that one against Tottenham, but then later in the week, big one against West Ham. So,
yeah, you got to say Arsenal getting 6 points out of 6 from Wolves.
massive.
That's very big. So, moving on to the next game, which is onto the weekend games.
Yeah.
Let me get this sorted.
Oh, yeah, the Friday.
Southampton versus Norwich on Friday.
So the lineups.
Hank saw this one on the calendar and he circled it. He
Yeah.
said, this is going to be the one.
This is my game. To the lineups: Forster, Walker-Peters, Livramento, Salisu, Bednarak, Romeu, Ward-Prowse, Armstrong, El Nuesi, Che, Mick, Adams, and Armando Broja. For Norwich: Gunn, Aarons, Gibson, Hanley, Williams, Gilmore, Norman, Rashica, McLean, Sargent, and Pookie. This was kind of a frustrating game to watch, especially in the first half. Southampton, first 5 minutes, couldn't really create a ton. Great counterattack by Norwich around the 10th minute. But, this was kind of just the story of the game for Norwich, is whenever they did create a half-decent chance, Southampton's defense was just spectacular in this game. Specifically, Salisu was playing really well. Southampton able to create pressure with Norwich building out of the back, and that's kind of when it started to go south for Norwich, as in many games. They just try and, especially with a team like Southampton that's able to press pretty decently, it's like, don't try that.
Yeah.
Just creating giveaways and chances for Southampton from defense.
It's so unnecessary. It's like going back to that Watford game. It's like, stop trying to play out of the back. Like, realize what you are. You're a relegation team.
Yeah. Big chances for El Nuesi and then Adams, but not able to take it. But then finally they get a goal, a breakthrough, and it was quite the struggle. Possession up the wing with Livramento swinging it in. Few bounces, a few whiffs. Adams laying on the ground.
One of the crappiest goals you'll see.
Yeah, it really was. He kind of hooked it on his foot, which lifted it over. Agnes Gunn. 1-0 Southampton. Norwich able to hold some possession after the goal going into half, but still concede a chance at the end of half to El Nuesi, who puts it wide. Second half, Southampton continued dominance, especially off corners. They just were really taking it to Norwich. And, you might not think that necessarily because, if there's one thing a guy like Grant Hanley, who's supposed to be Norwich's best guy, is good at, it's going to be clearing the ball.
Yeah.
But not the case. Game opened up for a little bit. Norwich have a chance on the counter, but just sky the shot from the edge of the box, kind of snatched at it. So I kind of would have liked to see Norwich somehow, if they did have one of those counters, maybe slow it down, because it was clear that they're not going to have the quality to finish, or especially take a Southampton guy one-on-one. So
Yeah.
big chance for Southampton to add the lead. Broja has a touch pass, which I thought he should have shot, but it was a touch pass, and Kyle Walker-Peters stepped into it, rips it, but it was right at Agnes Gunn. Have a note here again about Salisu just being really good at the last line of defense, blocking last-ditch efforts to clear the ball. Chance for Grant Hanley off a corner, not unmarked, but in a great spot. Did a good job to get there, but heads it wide. James Ward-Prowse free kick skimming the top of the net. Norwich revert to playing out of the back in the final 10, and it has been shit, is my note. Results in a goal from Southampton. Oriol Romeu volley from a corner that was cleared. That's the thing, too, I didn't get about this. If you watch that, Norwich has everyone in the box.
And somehow it gets through.
Well, It's just, why is everyone in the box when you're down 1-0 in like the 89th minute? Yeah, but anyways, they clear it to the edge of the box, which Romeo is standing there because no one's outside the box, and just volleys it. Very nice goal for him. Ends 2-0. Southampton, about as hot as you can be.
Yeah, they got to be up there in the form charts.
Norwich, about as stinky as you can be.
Yeah, Norwich, they had that little run with Ida in the team, and then he got hurt. And even if Norwich was playing well, they'd still be getting relegated, most likely. I mean, the other teams around them have really picked it up. So,
Yeah, I mean, they have one loss in their last 10 Premier League games, Southampton.
very nice.
I mean, that's, we
They're
came
going to win
into
the title. Is that what you're telling me?
came in this year. We didn't fully know what their squad because there's a little, we didn't know because they're kind of, it's not an experienced squad, but it's not super young. But there's just a mix. We didn't really trust their vets.
Yeah.
Southampton in the top half of the table. Who would have seen it coming? Norwich. I don't know. I think it's over.
Farewell.
Pour one out for him.
Farewell, sweet Canaries.
If we're wrong, we'll eat our hats. But I'll tell you what, right now as we sit here on March 3rd, I feel comfortable saying...
I will eat this melted mouse. I will eat it.
Yeah, I think it's over. I gave them a chance. We even tried to, talk Norwich back into it by, once they got Dean Smith, we're like, you know what? We'll give them a chance. And they got some wins, they got some draws, but no more.
The task was too large for even the best.
Moving on, next game, speaking of task too large, did you get it? Or did you break it further? There you go.
No, it doesn't click in on this side. It's stuck.
Well.
Okay.
Tottenham,
People
Leeds,
are probably like, oh my God, would you stop touching the mouse? Jesus.
Melier, Ailing, Firpo, Llorente, Struijk, Forshaw, Koch, Rafinha, Dallas, Harrison, Dan, James, for Tottenham, Lloris, Romero, Dyer, Davies, Doherty, Højbjerg, Winks, Sessegnon, Son, Kane, Kulusevski. I don't know. And I mean, this is just one of those things we talked early in the year about how bad Cooper was for him.
Yeah.
I think Llorente is like that times 1,000. Maybe it's just because I haven't seen Cooper in a while, but I mean,
him and Struijk are
terrible.
Trash.
Early chance for Leeds off a set piece as Struijk heads it just wide to the far post. We've seen this from Tottenham. Their set piece defending lately is so bad. Why is it so bad, Tottenham? Why is it so bad?
Yeah, it really shouldn't be. I mean, Romero and Dyer.
Yeah.
Two big guys.
Davies sometimes can, in terms of if he's going to be good at anything, it's probably clearances. It's not going to be, or blocks. It's definitely not going to be taking guys one-on-one as we've seen. Leeds not taking their chance early results in Tottenham going down, scoring. Is back and forth for the first 10 minutes, but Winks able to feed one to Sessegnon, runs up the wing, finds Doherty, back post 1-0. Just so much space behind Leeds' back line for the ball being in midfield when Winks is on it. He's right at midfield, and Leeds defenders, their back line is probably like maybe 5-10 yards away from him, it felt like. There's being aggressive and playing a high line, and then there's just that. Tottenham able to get another goal, holding possession and a brilliant run from Kulusevski. Slots it near post, but you got to question the defending from Leeds to allow him to make that run. Didn't you think that one was... Like, it was a good run, but don't get me wrong, but it wasn't, like, amazing. He went through, like, 3 guys.
That's just how Leeds go, They're like a tower of cards. They just crumble.
Leeds respond going down with some good passing, but Koch hits the post. That's the thing, too, about Leeds. It's like if you're going to be attacking, like you eventually have to take your chances.
Yeah, you got to score.
This is terrible. Tottenham Tottenham left some space for Leeds between the defense and the midfield as well, but Leeds just not really utilizing those pockets of space through passing with Rodrigo or James or Rafinha.
It seems like that's kind of been the difference. Like we've seen in the past where Leeds will concede, but they do score at least some.
Yeah.
This game it might be like 4-2 or something.
Yeah. Leeds kind of, their press was effective on Tottenham when Tottenham's trying to play out the back because, Tottenham struggled to do that as well. But Tottenham for a while kind of pinned back, but they go and get a goal over the top ball, probably 30, 35 yards out, onto Kane's foot, who beat Llorente bad. I'm talking bad. 1-on-1, just over the top, straight from the goal. Kane getting position. 3-0 inside 30 minutes. It's toast. You're done.
I think
Sayonara.
I think Llorente, Struijk, and Robin Koch, that's like the Bermuda Triangle of football. It's just you don't want to go there.
Yeah, but that doesn't. I don't know. I was gonna say that doesn't work because if you say that, it'd be like the attackers go there and they get lost and they're never heard of.
But it's when they're in the lineup, then bad things happen.
Yeah. Leeds fouling like crazy and just always beat when in a defensive position. Firpo, and he had plays like that against the Liverpool too, where it's just like we got like a yellow on Fabinho. It's like you're worried about Fabinho beating you, so you're gonna slide tackle at him, like, and you got to cover Salah the rest of the game, like you idiot.
Idiot.
Leeds,
you just got idioted from Hank.
Yeah, well, he is an idiot. And he's terrible. He's the money that
Junior
Leeds spent.
Firpo in shambles.
The money Leeds spent on that guy for him to be this bad.
Yeah, bring back Alioski.
Farsa. They're just screwing people over out here. Screwed Tottenham over. Yeah, screwing Tottenham over by getting Royale. Now they screw Leeds over by selling Firpo.
Yeah, not cool.
Second half, 10 minutes in, best chances come from a Son run from midfield, but tame shot from Elliott to handle. Leeds attack just lacking that dynamism, but just a general sense of direction too. Like, I don't know what are they supposed to be good at?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it seems like they just kind of like put out like attacking players and are like, okay, hopefully this works.
Yeah, there's no like
somehow.
Passing fluidity from Leeds. It just kind of felt on like Rafinha to make magic Rafinha.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a team effort, really. It seems like a kind of a group of individuals.
Yeah, Rodrigo kind of showcases that too, where it's like he might be good, but it's like he doesn't really fit in with any guys out there anyways. It's kind of just him with the ball, it feels like. So Sessegnon, great chance, back post, misses the ball and immediately just falls right into the post. Tottenham getting some shots off of Meslier, not too threatening. Middle of the field just wide open the second half for both teams, which is just, I guess it's not that surprising. What else do you expect from these sides? Stu Dallas blocks a Lloris pass and has an open net from probably like, what'd you say, 40 yards out? That was. Instead, dribbles it to the box where a defender gets back on the line and then shoots it, which is blocked by a different defender sliding in when he could have passed it. Leeds season in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Counterattack chance for Leeds at the 82nd mark. Dan James puts the unmarked chance wide. Again, just not taking their chances. And then to wrap it up, Son from Kane, over the top ball. Amazing pass from Kane from the Tottenham defensive half. Son 1-on-1 scores it. 4-0. Bielsa,
R.I.P.
Audi. He's done.
Jesse Marsh, howdy.
No.
He's going to lead them to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're going for the whatchamacallit crowd. What's that show?
Ted Lasso.
They're going for the Ted Lasso crowd.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Big Sam was the first initial rumor, and they didn't go Big Sam. That is a travesty.
Go Big Sam.
That is a travesty.
I mean, Jesse Marsh, how uninspiring of a pick.
It's-
This guy's
it's-
got no Premier League experience. Your
It's
team's already struggling.
It's because he's probably more likely to suit their attacking style of play, but it's like you don't really have great attack right now anyways.
Yeah,
So
and
he's like diet Bielsa or Bielsa light.
Exactly.
Like I don't
And why would you just downgrade on Bielsa like that? Like, why are you just getting rid of Bielsa to bring in the
you
worst
think it's
version
going
of
to be
Bielsa?
a fresh start, I guess. I don't know.
It's
I
just
think if you're
stupid.
going to sack a manager, I feel this way about like all sports. If you're going to sack the coach, you shouldn't bring in a guy who's very similar to him in terms of style
Yeah.
and just like the way he's going to run the team. It shouldn't be like, it doesn't have to be like a complete polar opposite, but it should be a different like frame of mind, a different view on the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Big Sam would have provided that.
We need Big Sam back in
But
the league.
but at the same time, it's like Big Sam going to try and park the bus. Maybe that's all Leeds can do
Yeah.
at that point. But then you watch a play like Kulishevsky, and it's like, no, they probably couldn't park the bus because they stink.
Yeah, they
So,
do.
Good one for Tottenham though, 4-0.
Good
They've been
bounce
dropping.
back.
They've been dropping a lot of games. Good response. That's the thing is like you might say, well, it's Leeds defense stuff like that. It's like, yeah, well at least they did it, you know.
Yeah, it's still a good morale booster anytime you win 4-0.
And it's gonna if you were to drop points there, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever chance of Europe you had is now completely out the window. So this at least gives
Yeah.
you just a glimmer of hope.
It allows you to get that kind of blip off the radar from losing to Burnley. It's like, get that out of your mind. Okay, we're back on track.
Yeah, or so you think. But we'll see.
Speaking about a team who has been on track,
Oh my gosh.
Newcastle United versus a team that has very much not been on track, Brentford.
To the lineups we go. I have them out of order on my phone, which is annoying. I had the Villa game there. All right. Lineups. Raya, Ayer, Henry, Pinnock, Janssen, Norgard, Jensen, Janot, De Silva, Wisa, and Buemo. How sad Brentford that is. Newcastle, we have Drubka,
Dubravka.
no, Shar, Target, Kraft, Dan Byrne. There's a name I can say, Dan Byrne.
Dan Byrne. Good, proper Englishman.
Absolutely. Joelinton, Shelby, Willock, Wood, Frazier, Murphy. You know, I found out Dan Byrne is a Geordie. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that
I read
until
that.
this week.
That's why,
He went there.
yeah, he just up and left. He's like,
So-
adios.
That'd be kind of strange in terms of like England. We won't spend that much time on this, but if you were living in like, or you grew up in Newcastle and then you spent a lot of time at Fulham, and then even more strange probably has to be Brighton at the very bottom of England.
It is very far south, yeah.
Yeah.
So he wanted to go back home. And
The farthest flight possible.
that probably, played a factor for Brighton determining whether to sell or not. It's like,
Yeah.
well, obviously
probably
he wants
wanna-
to go.
Yeah. Let's see. To the game. Kind of back and forth a little in possession early on. Strange sequence. Sees Brentford win a free kick, but after review, it was a foul and a red by De Silva on Newcastle. I couldn't believe that this was not... How was this, first of all, given as a foul, or I guess just a free kick for Brentford, and then you have to go back and look at it and say, no, it was actually a red on Brentford. Like, how... Who is this?
Mike Dean.
Mike Dean,
I think it's only par for the course of this season, the way the refereeing is going.
That was... we're not talking about it anymore. Newcastle set up with a free kick edge of the box, but can only muster a shot, not a goal. But they still have the man advantage. Newcastle able to kind of break as Frazier picks out Wood, but Raya up to the task at the 25th minute. I'll say Chris Wood in this game, able to get chances. He just couldn't convert them, and that's just kind of the story of Chris Wood this season. Just not able to take the chances that he's been given.
Been very poor this season.
Newcastle get their goal. Joelinton with the header from Frazier. And and I don't know if you saw it, he sprinted the length of the field from the goal he scored on all the way to the Newcastle supporters. This is so awesome.
Yo, respect.
Joe Linton. So good.
The man's hyped.
Chance by Fraser and Wood, who have both their chances saved. But another goal from Newcastle. Counterattack starts with Fabian Schär, of all people, kind of leading the break. Amazing touch. Nice little touch pass forward and plays the ball through to Willock. Rips it one-on-one with Raya. We've been talking Joe Willock.
Joe Willock's back, baby.
Playing well. Speaking of playing well, this game, I mean, Target played well last game too, so he can't get too much of a shout. But the main guy in this one was Ryan Fraser. He was a madman in this game. He was a madman. Newcastle spell of possession and almost make it 3-0 before half with the
Look at this
header. I know. I watched it live. I was trying to tell you about it. Joe Linton sprinting.
Oh, that's great.
With a saved header off a corner. I thought that Raya played pretty well in this one. He doesn't have a ton of help out there. I think if Brentford do go down, I think there should be a team that spends at least 15 to 25 mil if they really need a keeper. David Raya is pretty good just as a general stopper.
Yeah, Arsenal was rumored to be interested in him a couple seasons ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been before Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it didn't end up happening.
Yes. Newcastle open up second half, more chances, I guess, but they don't really take them. And then as the game kind of went on, they're able to kind of sit back more comfortably, hold the ball. As we talked about Newcastle, that's just so crazy that they're able. I mean, this game not that crazy because Brentford aren't amazing or anything, and they're down to 10 men. But just Newcastle's ability to hold the ball and see a game out, or hold the ball and actually kind of go forward to create chances.
It's just very strange because we're so used to them not being able to do that at all.
Brentford's best chance second half. Got a little momentum around the 60th minute. Norgard skims the top of the netting with a shot. Just not able to take it. But the only other notable thing in this one, Christian Eriksen coming back, subbed on for Brentford. Good to see.
Yeah.
Maybe can provide a spark near the end of the season, but I think just good to see him back after what happened to him at the Euros. So 2-0 Newcastle.
Eddie Howe, manager of the month?
Manager of the season?
Manager of the half season.
I think what's crazy is that Newcastle, even when he got there, looked so poor. Yeah. Still. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, man, maybe, I shouldn't have got rid of Bruce or something like that. But then they brought in a couple guys, and they started to look better. And now, I mean, they don't even have Trippier out there, but there must just be some effect that's worn off on these guys, and they have some just confidence in terms of playing. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, when you're getting good performances out of guys like Fraser or Schär, you know, I think it's just kind of like a confidence factor. You start seeing the goals go in, picking up the points. Everyone's feeling good. They play a little looser. They got a new manager.
And their midfield is just playing a whole lot better. Shelvey and Willock specifically are actually kind of coming on into their own. So as far as Brentford go, this attack is just dreadful and continues to be dreadful. They have to do something to change up. I would guess formation change, or, if you just, I know it's not what they normally do, but it's just kind of semi-park the bus a little bit and then just hit on the counter. I mean, I don't know what you do at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to see something different because they are on a crash course with relegation at this point.
Yeah, they're not getting the set pieces, whether it's long throw-ins or the long free kicks where they can work their routines. They're not even getting those chances anymore. So it's like, how are you going to generate your goals?
The long throw-in, that was something that we saw a lot earlier in the season, and
they just can't get anything going.
Yeah, it's just been a struggle. They look so much worse than they did at the start of the season. I mean, it's probably likely kind of the opposite of what Newcastle has going on.
Yeah.
They keep losing, running out of confidence.
Yeah. I mean, well, Brentford, whether it's off corners or long throws, like you said, even long set pieces, that's where they look most dangerous. Now their like best chance a game will be like Jensen or Norgard near like the edge of the box, just taking a shot, and it goes like just wide. It's like oh my gosh. So sad to see. Brentford, you got to fix that in terms of your play style. You got to do something to spice it up. Mm-hmm. Speaking of spicing it up,
we got two spicy teams, Crystal Palace and Burnley's second game of this podcast.
Oh, we have a third one too.
Yes, we do.
We kind of got Burnley out a little bit. They might be running out of juice. We gave them a little bit of juice. Now they might be running out of it.
Well, when you play 4 games in 11 days, that'll do it. Getting into the lineups, Butland, Mitchell, Gahey, Anderson, Klein, Milivojevic, MacArthur, Gallagher, Elise, Wilfred Zaha, and Jeffrey Schlupp.
Not as good as the last lineup.
Yeah, this is a rotated lineup, and I don't like it at all.
What are your thoughts on Jack Butland replacing Guaita?
I like Jack Butland. I think he's
kind of come back out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, he used to be just really one of the rising stars of keepers.
Stoke.
And struggled with injury issues. He was a England international.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see. And on the other side, Nick Pope.
He's been killing it.
Phenomenal. Yeah, you got to think someone might be interested in signing him in the offseason. Tarkovsky, me, Roberts, Peters, Cork, Brownhill, McNeil, Lennon, Voot, and J. Rod.
J-Rod.
Getting into this one, Palace get it kicked off nicely with a goal in the 9th minute. Jeff Schlupp gets on the end of a nice cross from Elise. Palace's first real attack of the game, and it was a nice one. Great ball in from Elise.
Elise officially, where would you put him in the Palace power ranks of attack players right now?
Man, right now he's got to be.
He might be one.
I think he's number one.
Yeah.
He has been
dynamic,
really good these past, I don't know, 5 or so games that he's really got to run in.
Gallagher's been so good this year, and Wilf, especially lately, has been kind of clicking too. So that's saying a lot about Elise.
Yeah, it's good to see. There were times earlier in the season where he'd get a game or two here and there, and he'd make some good plays, but didn't really get that constant run of form.
Do you feel like him and Etse might kind of overlap in a way that, like, not saying they can't play together, but it might be a completely different play styles, but in the way that, like, Emile Smith-Rowe and Odegaard, where it's like, if you look at it from, like, just a perspective of, like, you're not looking at lineups or anything, you're like, they're pretty similar. But
yeah,
it's like you can make it work with 2 of them together.
Yeah, I definitely think you could.
Because they kind of run a 4-3-3 anyways, and it's like it's just a matter of getting those guys. You get one on one side, one on the other, and then you have, whether it's Wilf or Edouard, or once Benteke comes back and healthy, scoring 20 goals a season,
Yeah, I think I think they can work together. I think where it gets a little kind of weird is when you're getting Gallagher in the mix too, and then you have someone up front.
Yeah,
it's pretty top heavy.
Yeah, but if you're going with Kouyaté out there and probably MacArthur, or maybe Hughes instead of MacArthur, I feel like you could get away. You might want to do it specifically against like a lower side.
Yeah, and also you don't have someone where you have like Wilf.
Like a pressing
he can
forward.
He can really press, hit on the counter.
Yeah.
I think Mateta is kind of like that too. Whereas Eze and Elise, they're more kind of slow it down, playmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, dynamic on the ball, but not like breakneck pace.
I'll tell you what, there wasn't much dynamic about this game, which broke my heart.
No, the first half really looked like 2 teams that just played. Especially Burnley, they played a lot.
Yeah, that was the curse of you have games in hand, but at the same time, it's like that really sucks because you're just gonna have them jammed in all at one time.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not even gonna get your best games out of there. It's like it would have been probably better if you just played them, right away.
Yeah.
But the snow is apparently an issue.
The snow. Yeah, you could tell Burnley, they were going with the physical route as we're used to seeing. Palace, they just didn't really look like they were clicking. I don't like Milivojevic out there anymore. I think it's time to move on from him.
Is he up after this year?
I sure hope so.
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
He's just done. He's toasted. Goes into halftime 1-0. Not much between either side. And then coming out of the gate, second half, 46th minute, Aaron Lennon shoots from a tight angle, gets an own goal from Mr. Milivojevic.
Yeah, what Burnley only had I felt like 2 or 3 shots this game. It was pretty rough. This wasn't even one of them.
Yeah, it was rough attacking for Burnley. They had some decent spells of possession, but really the chances just weren't there.
They took their one later on. I'll let you get to it, but that was an impressive play, just very unfortunate, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah. So they draw it level right after halftime. That's pretty good, coming out of halftime. You get the goal right away. Good to go on. Burnley pushing on the attack. Voot has a header go high off the corner. 66th minute then. Voot scores off a J. Rodriguez shot, but it's ruled offsides. Mm-hmm. Unfortunate for Burnley.
Barely offside, but
very tight margin. And then 70th minute, Zaha has a nice shot saved. And then his shot hits the post and out. That was pretty unlucky too.
That 2-shot sequence by Wilf was probably the best chance in the games. But Nick Pope too good. Even though that one shot was still right at him, but
Yeah, Nick Pope was phenomenal as always. You felt like Zaha could have done a little better given the chances and space he was being given. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the times you really want him.
Especially against guys like Peters and even the center backs. It's like they might be more physical than Wilf, but it's like you definitely have the speed advantage. I expect you to create a shot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unlucky, though, that he does that and it hits the post. So
Right. Yeah, you would have liked to see a couple more of those times where he can get past Peters and just get into some good space and either pass or get a shot off. But ultimately ends 1-1, point for each side.
That's
fair
probably
result.
fair, yeah.
Yeah, you could tell both sides looked kind of worn out, but I did think Elise was really good in this game overall. Moving on to another very meh game.
Are you sure? I liked it.
It was good from the memes perspective.
Yes, absolutely, and that's what we're here for.
So we're talking about Manchester United versus Watford. Into the lineups, got De Gea, Lindelof, Varane, Telles, Wan-Bissaka, Pogba, Fred, Fernandes, Matic, Elanga, and Ronaldo.
We've seen kind of what Ralph Rangnick likes to do. As far as the lineups go. And I mean, there's probably a slight bit of rotation in here, but you can't get away with Matic starting. That doesn't work.
Yeah, Matic and Fred is just...
it's a bit too much. I thought that, especially, he hasn't been killing it in the Champions League, which he played a few days before, but I felt they probably should have had Sancho out here. Mm-hmm. And now they're probably, the thought is, how often you're going to have a chance to counter against Watford, so maybe that's a part that Rangnick didn't like. But I don't know, even just creating his own space against Watford and creating his own shot or setting up other people, I feel like you could get away with Sancho against Watford.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately the change, having Elanga out there instead, I don't think they're really that different style of players.
Yeah. I feel like Elanga has probably a little more finishing to his locker than Sancho, but Sancho definitely has more creative aspect to him. But
for Watford, Ben Foster, Ngakia, Kamara, Cathcart, Samir, Louza, Tom Cleves, Sissoko, Josh King, Sarr, and Dennis.
So they go with that 4-3-3 / 4-4-2 with Sarr kind of dropping in, but not really doing a whole lot. Same thing. So
starting off the game, United get off to a fast start. Ronaldo, 4th minute, hits the post and out. That was a really weird one. It was like low off the corner of the post and just kind of like came
right
straight
back
out.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like the physics were working on that goal.
No.
Shot. 12th minute, Bruno has a shot saved by Ben Foster after he gets in behind the Watford defense. Ben Foster, how about that guy?
I thought this game, Bruno, he wasn't. It's one of those games where it's like, was he bad or was he just Because it's like he gets in the right spot to create the chances, and it's just a matter of him not converting or him not making the perfect pass like we've seen from him. So it's like, for another guy, it's probably a good game because he's at least getting in the positions and stuff. But when it's Bruno Fernandes, you're probably like, you should be converting this. So it's not a very good game by his standard. Yeah,
definitely. When you see him kind of one-on-one with the keeper in that scenario, you'd probably put money on him to score. But you got to say respect to Ben Foster for coming out and
the Man U legend himself, revenge game.
Making himself big on that one. And then 15th minute, Ronaldo scores, but he is offside. Again, Watford looking pretty poor defensively, kind of just all over the place, similar to that last game.
It's, the thing with Watford's defense is like they have certain qualities in it, but they're not going to be, magnified that often. I thought Samir is fine. He's better some games more than others. Mm-hmm. He's generally just going to be all right for clearances, maybe even blocks, but he's not going to get a ton of tackles and interception stuff. Kamara still is, given the fact that I expected nothing from any of their signings, I still think he's been pretty impressive at times. But no, like Craig Cathcart.
Yeah, Craig Cathcart, Ngakia.
Ngakia is like a more attack-minded fullback, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or he's just kind of like a pace merchant. So it's like he doesn't really provide much in defense. And Craig Cathcart I feel like he's always one of the main culprits of letting Watford concede. It's just you didn't see it as much because he was somehow better than Troost-Ekong early in the year.
Yeah, so going on in the first half, the attack somewhat drops off for United. You can sense there is some frustration from the fans, not too dissimilar to the Liverpool versus Norwich game.
How about when Ronaldo was like leaning against the post? Just had a defeated look. I think it was after an Elanga chance and he like didn't pass or something.
Yeah.
And he's just like, ah.
Yeah, he did look
and Bruno Fernandes had to walk up to him. He's like, "Don't do that. don't make it worse by being a crybaby."
Yeah. Somehow Watford hold on to the 0-0 scoreline going into halftime. That in itself is kind of a victory for Watford.
Yeah,
surviving the wave, and you can tell that United is getting frustrated, and they come out the second half, and it's just super slow. There's no dynamic plays coming out of any of the players. They look defeated.
Yeah, it's, United at times just lack, just in general, like movement off the ball.
Yeah.
Sometimes 100%. I feel like it's just guys like standing around. It's like, well, no one's going to be able to create anything if you're all just standing there. Yeah. Especially when it's like circulating the back line and they're like trying to switch up play, just passing it one by one sideways. Mm-hmm. There's just nothing going.
Yeah, and someone will get the ball and they'll have space, but they'll just kind of like slowly carry it up the field until they end up giving away the ball.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Watford, they had some kind of...
I thought they're going to take the last chance.
They had some decent attacks
at the 90th minute.
Yeah, the big chance, 90th minute...
Sarr puts it just wide on the counter. I thought he was going to take it. I thought he was going to slot it up.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. And Watford hold on for the point away at Old Trafford.
Amazing result for Watford, let's be honest.
Yeah, that is amazing result.
That's about all you can ask for at this point. United, horrible result. Mm-hmm. The only thing you'd say that was bad about it from a Watford perspective is probably United's been conceding so much right after half, and you did absolutely nothing right after half with the ball. But I felt like because Man U had been conceding so much and they're a little worried, Watford do possess some quality in attack. That's mainly where all their quality of their team is, 97% of it.
The other 3%'s been
Ben
Foster.
Yeah. And I felt like it was just conservative. They should have really just kind of made a push to go for it. What were the subs in this one? I don't remember the subs.
Let's see.
For United. Fred for Sancho at like 62, 63. Luke Shaw coming on and Rashford coming on. Rashford coming on with 15 minutes left, like, for Matic. Why was Matic out there for 75 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really confusing why Fred comes off first.
If you are going to say, okay, well, we need some defensive stability, so Matic is going to stay out there. Okay, Watford, if they're going to get a chance, it's going to be through a counter, yeah? Because you're holding the ball. Mm-hmm. What is Matic doing to stop a counter attack from Emmanuel Dennis and Ismail Yassar throwing someone to the ground before they can run away? If they run past him, it's over. That guy's a refrigerator. He can't move.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What? So, I don't know. I thought Rania had a very poor go in this one.
Yeah, I mean,
even a guy like Delo, like being an attack-minded defender, I get they've been playing him a decent amount, but it's like I felt he should have been in this game too. I don't know, or maybe even a Jay Ling's appearance.
Yeah,
like there's so much to do, and it's like you thought you could just get away with Pogba and Ronaldo against Watford.
Yeah, just seeing the way that they were playing in the second half is like, why did it take so long to make those changes? Just very frustrating.
I think Ranić just got that one wrong big time.
Yeah. On to the next game. Brighton versus Villa. To the lineups.
Oh, where's this one? Here, right here. Okay. Bobby Sanchez, Cucurella, Lewis, Dunk, Joel, Veltman, Lamptey, Basuma, McAllister, Motor, March, Maupay, Trossard. For Villa, we have Emi Martinez, Matty Cash, Konsa, Mings, Digne, Luiz, McGinn, Ramsey, Watkins, Ings, Coutinho. So a 4-3-3/4-4-2, I would say, when I watch him play.
I think Steven Gerrard is listening to this podcast because
we said put in Ings, and he puts in Ings, but then we're like, well, maybe you put Ings and Watkins together.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah. Shout out Stevie G. We love you.
Yeah.
Big friend of the pod.
Yeah. Big ups.
Big ups, Stevie G.
Yeah, Villa early on trying to build from the back, but, the first 10 minutes were kind of balanced because, Villa able to kind of hold some possession while trying to build out of the back, but Brighton kind of had the better chances. They'd take it off Villa and kind of push on quick, a little fast build up or even a counterattack. At times. My guy Trossard was having a rough go out there this game. He was not looking good. But then again, kind of the creative aspect of Brighton right now isn't looking very good. McAllister has a chance in this one, but doesn't really take it. Motor sneaky has been creating chances. He's not good at taking chances, obviously. We know that. He's not a terrific goal scorer or anything, but I don't know. And then Maupay hasn't been doing a whole lot. I feel like you're kind of, the idea of Maupay is great. The execution of
the real Maupay.
Yeah, where it's like he'll link up and he can make runs in behind because he's quick and shifty, and he knows where to be because he can get tap-ins and he's a scrappy guy. It's just not what he does. So, anyways, goal, Villa, first chance, they take it. 1-2 passing sequence off a throw-in deep in Brighton's territory. Leads to a cross from Digne, which was cleared originally to the edge of the box, and Matty Cash chests it down, volleys it post and in.
How many goals is that for Matty Cash this season?
Like 3 or something like
So
that.
he got more than Sancho.
He might. He might have a lot more. He might have more than Lukaku. He might have more than a bunch of guys. Big chance for Brighton as they play in behind Villa. They square a ball in the middle. McAllister, like I was saying, gets his chance, rips it right off the crossbar. Pretty unfortunate that he couldn't keep that one down. He had plenty of time and space. So there was an almost fight with Douglas, Luiz, and Trossard. That was pretty interesting. Both getting yellows. Ramsey creates a big chance. Kind of weird. Some bounces went his way, but blocked last second by Joel Veltman was a point-blank chance on net. Probably would have scored. And this was just like a feisty, physical game. Watkins and Cucurella going at each other is a prime example. A lot of pushing and shoving in this one, which you wouldn't really maybe expect from Villa, but you definitely wouldn't expect from Brighton getting into it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like two teams where it really boil over. But yeah, Villa have been kind of getting more into that. It seems like, especially that game against Everton, that was kind of a scrappy game as well.
Yeah. Second half, Coutinho free kick at the 50th minute, saved by Bobby Sanchez. Very nice save.
Very nice.
Sloppy giveaways and just poor passing by both sides early in the second half. I wasn't liking what I was seeing. Eventually, Watkins breaks his duck, so he gets a second goal. All the way out from the back, Tyrone Mings just sends it right up the wing over the top ball. Watkins does the rest, 2-0. And it's like you're sitting there thinking, man, Brighton, this is just not good. Your defense not quite holding up as well as you'd like, and you're not getting the attacking chances.
Yeah.
But Brighton do respond. They get one pretty damn good chance, cross from Solly March, who's honestly been probably their best attacking player lately, which is not okay. To Welbeck. I think maybe Welbeck was surprised because he was unmarked, but he heads it wide. And then Brighton's first shot on net came 80th minute against Emi Martinez. Easy save for him, so that's kind of how it ends.
Yeah, it's kind of rough for Brighton. I mean, their attack had already been declining, and then the defense has declined too after the departure of Dan Burn. So
Yeah.
you're going in the wrong way. Offensively
Well, where you
and
went
defensively.
wrong is you did sell Dan Burn. You have to stick with what we know
Yes.
in terms of good memes.
And we know Dan Burn.
Yeah. Villa, they had been struggling in attack. This one they didn't have. It was definitely quality over quantity, to say the least. And it's not even like the quality was that amazing. They just took their chances. But having, I think, 2 games without a goal, or maybe 3. Then they come out, get 2 here, especially on the road. Big win.
Yeah.
They do the double over Brighton, so big for them. And like I was saying about Watkins breaking the duck, maybe he gets going.
Yeah.
They need someone to kind of just be a reliable goal scorer out there. So
Yeah.
moving on, next game, Sam's favorite game of the week.
This might have been one of the most painful games I've ever watched, just out of sheer awfulness of how boring it was. Everton versus City. Everton's lineup: Pickford, Kenny, Holgate, Keane, Coleman, Alan, Doucouré, Van de Beek, Richarlison, Iwobi, Anthony Gordon. For City, Ederson, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Laporte, Cancelo, Gundogan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, and Phil Foden.
Kind of a strange lineup from City. Not super attack heavy, and the way that they had it listed when they showed on like the TV and even on this lineup, they have Silva almost as like a false 9, and it's like, I don't know, at least I was sitting there, I'm like, I feel like Sterling or Foden will just straight up be the striker out there. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Foden. Yeah, so
I just thought that was weird that they showed it like that.
getting into this game, Everton starting off, they look pretty good defensively. Defensively, looked pretty solid. They had some good organized shape at the back, something that hasn't always been the case. But
No.
they looked like they were set up pretty nicely. I like the game plan out of Frank Lampard. Of course, you know that Man City is going to want to just suffocate you, but they did a good job of not allowing City to get the ball into the box too much. And yeah, the first half they looked really solid defensively, and then that allowed
I
them
think
to
they
get
had the
some
better
chances.
chances in the first half.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had better attacking threat. They had some good chances through John Joe Kenny and then Richarlison.
I thought Richarlison should have scored this game. The second half chance and then that first half chance.
Yeah, definitely you would have liked to see Everton get rewarded for their good efforts because I think they were the better team in the first half. Honestly.
Yeah, I thought, it wasn't the best Anthony Gordon game, but making it happen against City, it's going to be tough. And I thought he did an all right job.
Yeah. Second half, City start to ramp up the pressure. Pickford forced into a nice double save. He did well this game.
Oh, yeah.
Then 81st minute, City get the breakthrough. A ball from Silva deflects its way to Foden. Poor defending from Holgate and Keane.
Oh, that was bad. To work that hard for so long and then just have a brain fart. I would say it's more on Holgate than Keane, but still Keane has to have some blame because, I mean, I get it. His main focus is thinking about Foden and making sure Foden, he's got him marked well. But if the ball's coming at you, got to react better than whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, he was just so flat-footed.
But then at the same time, it's like Holgate with literally touching the ball onwards towards his own net. That was just so bad.
Very bad. And then huge moment of controversy. 85th minute. The world's most obvious handball is not given. It was on Rodri.
What were they trying to say? That like the offside had occurred before the handball or something? Or what was even going on? I was confused about that. Because I had my TV on like 2 volume while I was doing something else.
I don't think they said... I don't know. It was very confusing.
I think there was an offside in the play, but I think it was after the handball. I don't think it was. Yeah. But maybe it was before.
Yeah, it went to VAR. They looked at it, and then ultimately it just got ruled for being offside, which it was clearly a handball. And
I mean, it was below his damn sleeve. I don't even know what was going through Rodri's mind. Like, no one was near him.
Yeah, I think there was kind of a weird bounce with some weird spin where it kind of came towards him a little more than it seemed like it should have. But there was no one around him.
Yeah, so you didn't need to have your arm up to do that. I don't know. Very strange, but yes, a definite handball. Frank Lampard, very upset. The man who solved football gets jobbed out of a potential draw.
And something interesting after the fact, it came out that Mike Riley, who's like the head of the referees, apologized to Everton. It's like, well, where's the apologies for all the other terrible calls that have been made throughout this season?
Yeah, but even then, it's like, do you think a club wants an apology? It's like,
just
get the call right. Just get the call right. Like, it's not that hard, especially that one by Rodri. Oh, my God. Right at his elbow.
Right. I mean, I don't understand how that's even possible for that to happen.
I don't know. I don't know what's worse, that one or the Mike Dean Brentford one where he calls a foul for one team and then looks at it and says, oh, wait, no, that guy actually gets a red. Yeah. Both just terrible, which is very unfortunate ruining the Premier League.
Yeah, so overall disappointment from Everton. They played fairly well in this one.
I'd say they played damn good for Everton standards. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Not that you want to hear about a moral victory or anything, but played well.
Speaking about teams getting a little close to the bottom of the table, Everton are getting
right
close.
They're there.
Yeah.
They're there, man. So they got to get a win here soon. 2 teams fighting for Europe right here. Wolves, West Ham. To the lineups. Fabianski, Cresswell, Zuma, Dawson, Fornells, Soucek, Ben Johnson, Declan Rice, Antonio Lanzini, and Bowen. For Wolves, Sa, Cody, Kilman, Saiz, Hover, Marcel, Neves, Dendonker, Trincao, Silva, Chan. That was a little defensive from Wolves. A little too defensive. You feel that way?
Yeah.
Marcel, very, I guess, he's kind of a wide player. Hover, too, in terms of, but they're a little more defensive minded than attack minded. So no Ait Nouri.
I think Hoover can be
And Semedo
pretty
got
good
hurt, I
going
guess.
forward, but I don't know. The attack.
Not to mention Den Donker's in the lineup too, with
Yeah.
Neves.
Yeah, Dendonker.
So you're really relying heavy on Trincao, Silva, and Chan. Specifically Chan. Chan was like in that Raul Jimenez role where he's virtually a false 9-10 kind of role, linking up with Neves and stuff.
I think Trincao and Silva, don't play those guys together. I mean, they're not very good on their own. So
No. So, yeah. To the game. Back and forth pretty early on, two sides. I'd say first like 20 minutes or so. Both kind of have attacks, but not looking super great. Best chance came about 20th minute with Cresswell's free kick. Went just wide. Bouncing ball from an ensuing corner, and Zuma snatches at a chance with this just like wild back heel flick, when if he lets it sit there, Antonio is literally facing the net straight on and can just blast it in. But the cat kicker strikes again.
cat kicker.
Uh,
We don't forget Zuma. World War III may have broken out, but we remember.
I remember the cat. Best chance, probably the first half, you'd have to say comes through Rice, who just takes it on his own and hits the post on a curled effort. West Ham clearly with the most chances, but Wolves get one damn good chance right before half. Kind of get near the end line. The ball kind of just sprays out, kind of strange. Towards the edge of the box, Chan, with the chance, puts it wide. Should at least got on that. From that inside the edge of the box, unmarked. That's got to be on net.
Yep.
Second half, we go in 0-0. Wolves dominate possession first 5-10 minutes, have a decent chance through Trincao. I thought Trincao and Silva had like one or two moments this game where they had the chance, but West Ham's defense was able to just get there in time. So Wolves just not really able to, take their chance or even get a shot off for that matter. But getting a shot off, West Ham score a goal, intricate passing sequence from West Ham. Saiss rotates off Sushek for some reason. I don't know why. He tried to play some weird offside trap, but only he thought it was an offside trap and just left him. And Marcel had to kind of cover two guys, and it wasn't going to work. So 1-0 West Ham. Big time game from Jose Sa this week. A bunch of saves in the second half. Stuffed Antonio a few times and Bowen from what should be clear-cut scoring chances. Wolves' best chance get forward at the end was a long-range effort from Neves, but right at Fabianski. So it ends 1-0. This game, struggling attacks, really good midfields, so it's going to be hard for those teams to get the ball through each other. So you didn't expect a ton of chances, not to mention really good defense from Wolves this season. And West Ham, they're kind of spotty at defense, but on their day they can be good defending. And this day they were damn good defending. So you figured it'd be low scoring, just a matter of who gets one. Mm-hmm. West Ham get one. Massive win. Kind of sucks for Wolves not taking even just half of their big games. 1-4. They beat Tottenham, lose 2 to Arsenal, lose to West Ham. I wouldn't say Wolves are fraudulent by any stretch of the imagination, but you would have figured they could have maybe got another one out of those games.
Yeah, and
or at least 2 draws or something.
They sure could have. I mean, things just go a little bit differently. Arsenal, they could have got a win there, got a point. Things could have changed. That's just kind of the narrow margins that Wolves are at. It maybe just kind of a notch below, like a half notch or something. Not very close, though. And wrapping it up.
Sam's favorite team.
We started with Burnley. No, I don't think we did. I don't remember.
We did, the Tottenham-Burnley game.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, that's the first one we covered, Tottenham-Burnley, the snow day makeup.
We started with Burnley, and we'll end with
We're
Burnley.
going out with Burnley, baby.
And
that pick of Vardy.
just as they started, they started good. They got the win. Second game, they got the draw, and they just fully faded. They got the L in this game.
That's the beauty of the Premier League right there.
Up against
especially
Leicester.
Burnley.
Lineups: Nick Pope, Charlie Taylor, Tarkovsky, me, Roberts, Brownhill, McNeil, Lennon, Westwood, Voot, Veghorst, and Cornet back in the lineup. For Leicester: Schmeichel, Soyuncu, Amarte, Pereira, Luke Thomas, Tielemans, Ndidi, Dewsbury Hall, Harvey Barnes, Albrighton, and Daka. I got to say, when I saw that lineup for Leicester, I was like, I don't really like it. But
it makes a little more sense. If you're going to have Ndidi and Tielemans out there, I do like Dewsbury Hall because he's a little defensive, yet he can provide just enough going forward. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's going to be, creating James Maddison chances or anything, but he can do enough.
Yeah. Starting this one off, Leicester starts off the game with some good possession. 9th minute, Ricardo gets a low shot saved by Nick Pope, who was
on fire this game.
Standing on his head.
Yeah.
20th minute, Cornet scores at the far post after a nice move from Aaron Lennon, but he's ruled offside. Very
by
unfortunate.
The thinnest of margins, too.
Yeah, that was a tough one. After that point, Burnley, they weren't going to be able to do too much in this game.
Yeah.
Just tiredness. They have
Sean Dyche did not
squad.
Help himself by rotating at all in these games. He doesn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, Aaron Lennon played all the games, and he still looked pretty good in this game. To be honest, he, for some reason.
Well, you got to when the stove's hot.
Yeah. First half, some more nice saves out of Nick Pope. One of them, 41st minute. This was probably the craziest reaction save I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He just somehow flicks his arm up.
and gets enough on it to put it over.
And it was like Harvey Barnes was 6 yards out. It's like, how is it possible?
Yeah, just a rocket Nick Pope.
Just pinpoint reflexes. Absolutely insane. Goes into halftime, 0-0. Burnley start off the second half looking pretty decent, but again, they didn't really create too many chances.
Yeah, the best one was that Cornet one, and he got around Schmeichel. He put it between his legs, but it ended up going wide.
Yeah.
Pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
And then they had one kind of near the end. Schmeichel almost didn't get there. Jay Rodriguez, I think, almost beat him to the ball, but Schmeichel gets there, hoofs it upfield, and then...
Yeah, he was kind of in no man's land out there on that one.
The defense clearly was having some miscommunication with Schmeichel, and Schmeichel, as a 35-year-old man, was going about 2 miles per hour.
Yeah, he was very slow. Leicester makes some changes. They bring on Maddison. They bring on Jamie Vardy, and
great to see Vardy back.
That just changes the game. Right away, you see the quality that Jamie Vardy still has. He's just leaps and bounds. He is one of the great players.
It made me think that if they maybe had Vardy this year, they'd probably be where Wolves are even.
Yeah.
Or slightly, maybe even above that, kind of that Tottenham Wolves range. But then again, their defense has been so shit, who knows. But I would figure Vardy could get 15 to 20 if he was playing this full year.
Yeah. It's crazy the amount of goals he has. He's got 9 this season.
Yeah.
And it seems like he hasn't even played that much.
He's missed half the year, it feels like, or 40% of it.
Yeah. But he comes on. Just instantly you see an uptick in quality along with Maddison. 82nd minute, Maddison hits the lovely curling goal.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful goal from Maddison.
I felt bad. Not necessarily for Burnley in this one, but for Nick Pope having that amazing game, and then you concede, and it's there's nothing you could. It was a perfect shot by Maddison.
Unsavable.
No one stepping up to even contest the shot Maddison has all day. So,
And then 90th minute, Vardy scores on an open header, nice cross from Barnes, but Jamie Vardy, he just gets in those pockets of space, ends up wide open.
Yeah, I thought Barnes had a pretty good game. In terms of creation, I thought that he was really
Yeah.
the only guy in terms of creation. I didn't think Tielemans did much. I didn't think Daka did much.
Albrighton didn't
yeah.
do anything.
No, so
Yeah.
yeah, Vardy going over, celebrating the Leicester fans, and then shushing the Burnley crowd, as only
that was
Jamie
great.
Vardy could do.
Yeah, it made me think, and I was thinking, it's gonna be sad when Jamie Vardy retires.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
He just brings so much to the league, the game, to Leicester, everything. He's a great player.
Going from non-league to the Premier League is already motivating enough, but then he's just like such a likable guy,
yeah,
just hilarious, the ultimate English lad.
yeah.
the
He shouldn't be
chap.
as good as he is, but
No.
somehow he is amazingly good.
Yeah.
And he's got to go down as one of the Premier League legends. I mean, if he was playing at the top flight for a longer amount of time,
Who knows? But then again,
he could
maybe
really
he's
be
not
out
in the
there.
same spot if
Yeah.
he doesn't have those experience. So,
definitely an icon for sure.
did you come up with your list of 5 to 6 guys?
I
it
forgot
was-
we were going to do
I
that.
know. I should have texted you about it. It's because I don't know. It's on the brink of being like a regular week, but then there's like 4 or 5. Well, probably not 4. There's probably like 3 or 4.
I'm going to look through here and I'm going to,
Can I do my 5?
yes.
All right.
And
And I have a
think-
goalie, so you don't need to think of goalie unless you want to say Pope. But Ryan Fraser, who was insane. I think he had he at least had 10 plus shot creating actions against Brentford. He was just wild out there. Matty Cash, another fantastic defensive effort, and then getting the goal and attack. Thomas Suchek, probably one of his better games of the year. Shea McAdams, only because he's been in Fuego lately. Didn't take many chances this game and got a crap goal, but he still continues the goal streak.
Yeah.
So, and then I put Pickford because he was really actually fantastic this game against Man City, I thought, and
Yeah.
really even gave him a chance with
Yeah,
some of the saves
definitely.
he made.
I'm going to say number 1, I'm going to say Lacazette. Shout out Lacazette. Normally he gets subbed off around like the 65th minute, but he was still
The full 90.
working his butt off even into the 5th minute of added time there,
Mm-hmm.
getting the winner. Massive. Some great passion out of him.
See, I thought you might have said Pepe because he got the goal, and then he kind of created on the Lacazette
Yeah.
what should have been goal, but own goal.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair. I just got a lot of respect for Lacazette. He was out of the team for a while, but he came in, no hard feelings, and he still works really hard. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
a good
kind of
role
the
model.
opposite of Aubameyang.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good leader. Second one, Nick Pope made some insane saves.
I think that one, you might still say Ramsdale save of the year. I think that one
Yeah, it's
was,
close.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Just point blank, just a rip right at him and just like the flexing like the bicep to get the forearm on it.
Yeah,
Wild.
we've had some really good saves this season. We've mentioned before, but the level of goalkeeping has just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an Everton player. I'm going to say...
Donnie? Donnie kind of put in a
say-
little bit of a shift in defense.
Yeah, I think Van de Beek is a good shout.
Although I think we might have called him out last week. Alex Iwobi.
Yeah, I don't.
I think it
don't
has
know.
to be Pickford. Pickford
Pickford.
had an amazing
Pickford.
game.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
And then I'll pick one more. I'm going to say Olise
good.
for Crystal Palace.
He's been killing it.
Yeah, he's been doing really good.
What about Ronaldo? You didn't want to shout him out.
Sue.
Pogba.
Pogba.
What do we got here for the upcoming games? Let's get some predictions, some previews going here.
First game, Saturday. We got Leicester versus Leeds versus the American Leeds.
Oh man,
Jesse Marsh.
at the King Power.
Some might even say marching on together.
Oh no, that's bad. Yeah, this one it'll be interesting to see how much of an effect Marsh has on Leeds. Obviously, like we said, he's very similar to Bielsa's attacking style, kind of pushing forward. For those who don't know, he used to manage Salzburg, had success in the Austrian league this year, went to Leipzig and got a pie to the face, was just terrible. Got sacked as they were mid-table.
Yeah.
Taking over for Leeds now. Leicester, if Vardy's playing, maybe Maddison will start this one. We'll have to see. Their defense, I still don't believe. It's still shaky. Burnley had their chances. They just unfortunately didn't take them. So I'll probably go with a 1-1 draw, but I feel like if I had to pick a team to win, I'd probably go Leicester 2-1, but we'll go with a draw 1-1.
I'm going to say 3-1 Leicester. I have more confidence in Leicester. I just feel like they have...
If Vardy's out there, it's a whole different dynamic.
I think even without Vardy, they have enough quality to get past Leeds' god-awful defense.
Yeah.
Leeds, I just don't expect anything out of them going forward. I expect them
They're going to have to
just be
hold on
god-awful.
and maybe get 1 or 2 more wins somehow out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's going to come from like a Rafinha pen and they just park the bus and hold on. I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, but that's how it's going to have to be.
Yeah, so going forward, I've just no expectations. So, yeah. Second game, Aston Villa versus Southampton. This one should be interesting. Two, pretty decent teams here. Southampton on a good run of form. Aston Villa
This is my kind of game right here.
coming off a nice win against Brighton. Slight favorite to Southampton, you got to say?
I think it's negated by the fact it's at Villa Park. I think
Yeah.
it makes it pretty even. If it's
Yeah, that's fair.
if it's if this game for whatever reason at Wembley, it's even
Neutral.
field. Yeah, neutral field. Then you probably favor Southampton by a little. But yeah, since it's at Villa, I'd say it's about even. Yeah, can Southampton keep up the attack? Will be the main question. Kind of starting off strong. Villa on the other end, I am always curious to see with Steven Gerrard like what tactics he wants to go with in terms of, because it feels like there's like 2 or 3 versions of Villa where it's like they have one where they're comfortable sitting back, they absorb, and they kind of look for the counter a little bit. Mm-hmm. And they have some where they try to get possession, they build from the back, and then they kind of try to suffocate you.
Yeah.
So I wonder how they're going to go about this. I feel like they might kind of be forced into the first one if Southampton starts strong, like they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I kind of favor, after seeing Villa's midfield last game, I kind of favor them a little bit as far as that aspect. But the defenses, they can be a little hit or miss at times. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw as well on this one.
Yeah.
Back-to-back 1-1 draws to
I
start
was
off the week.
thinking 1-1 as well. You look at both offenses, and they're kind of shaky too in terms of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Che Adams has been good lately, but we've seen, numerous
Certain
times.
guys on Southampton they haven't been bad, but they haven't been great.
Mm-hmm.
Armstrong, El Nuaisi, they've been playing above what they had been, but they're still not taking their chances as much.
Yeah.
Broja hasn't scored for a little bit. He's still doing stuff out there, but he's just not scoring as much. So we'll have to see with Southampton if they can keep up the attack.
Yeah. So 1-1 for both of us on that one. Next game, Burnley versus Chelsea.
I don't know what to make of this for Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea, they're in a weird state right now.
They might be like the new Enigma team. We don't know what to expect from them.
Yeah. Not to mention, things going on off the field.
Yeah, with Abramovich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows
Just
with that
a
whole
weird
situation.
cloud kind of around the club right now.
Yeah, which is so strange, coming into the year, fresh off the Champions League victory, European Super Cup, you're like, oh, this is going to be great. And they come out, they have good performances, they go toe-to-toe with Liverpool and stuff,
Yeah.
and then like a few injuries, and you're like, oh, it's okay, they're deep. And then it kind of, the Lukaku stuff happens, a few results don't go their way, and it kind of just snowballs into this big thing, and you don't know what it is.
Yeah, and then
You're still waiting for them to like break out because they have quality, but yet it's like they're not really doing bad. It's very strange right now.
you find yourself wondering, how did we get here?
Yeah, exactly. I will go with, I think Burnley's gassed. I'm going to go with a 2-0 victory.
I was going to say 2-0 as well. Yeah, Burnley.
This is so bad that we're just agreeing.
I'm sorry, Burnley.
I think
too
you're
many
gassed.
games.
I think you're gassed. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, what kind of lineup they go with. If you were Tuchel, would you go with Lukaku, big physical Lukaku against these center backs? I think if you go Havertz, there's a chance he just gets free and scores, but if you're going for like crosses and stuff, he's just going to get bullied by those center backs, by Tarkovsky and me, or even Collins maybe.
Yeah, you feel like the logical choice is Lukaku, but then he's also been
So
terrible.
poor.
So
I don't know.
I don't
Are you kidding me? He scored against Luton Town in the FA Cup.
he's coming back.
I'm thinking he's back.
The return.
Newcastle, Brighton, the Dan Burn Derby,
Dan
the
Burn
North
Derby.
South,
Yes.
the Civil War Derby, right here at St. James Park.
The black stripes versus the blue stripes.
Yeah, exactly. What are you looking for in this one?
I fully expect Newcastle to continue on with their good form. On paper, it seems like Newcastle should have a fairly easy matchup. Brighton have been conceding goals and haven't been scoring many goals.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like Newcastle should win fairly easily.
I think the crazy thing to think about with Newcastle too is when we're talking about the possession aspect of it, they really haven't needed St. Maximin
Yeah.
like at all in terms of they've been able to win kind of without him. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things with Brighton where it's like, what if they've won one out of their last like 4 or 5, kind of slip in.
Yeah.
Eventually you just break that. We saw it last week with the team they just played, Villa. Villa was like had won one out of their last 5, and it's like, oh, is there trouble? So I would suspect Brighton to kind of tighten up ship, especially defensively. So I think that this might be a goalless draw. That's what I'm leaning toward.
I'm going to say 2-0 Newcastle, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton pull out a win just because maybe...
I don't know if I could see them getting a win. I think they got to get like a really just grinded out result first before they get back to those ways. But I guess you never know. They could have a Trossard banger or something.
The quality's there.
Not to mention, if they're going to sit back and absorb the pressure from Newcastle, Lamptey, Cucurella, who've honestly been playing fine for now, but they could be playing a little better from what we've seen early in the year. So I'll go with the goalless draw. Norwich, Brentford, the battle of absolute
Crap.
stinky pee-pee poo-poo matchup right now. There is no form from either of these sides. At Carroll Road, what are you thinking in terms of what we're going to be looking at?
I mean, this one's got to be 0-0, doesn't it? Both sides' attack has been awful. Their midfield is not very good either. It just makes me sad just talking about this game because it's going to be bad. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate this. Might just be a low-scoring week.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe Josh Sargent steals one for him. But
let's go.
is Ivan Toney going to be playing? I'd have maybe a
It
little
seems like
faith
he
in
should be
Brentford.
back, but
I mean, I think he
don't
came
know.
back at the end of the last game, but they didn't play him that long. So
yeah.
I'm going to go with I'm going to say 1-1 because I don't trust either defense. 1-1 draw.
I'm going to say 0-0. Wolves, Crystal Palace.
Oh, yeah.
Another good matchup here.
The Molyneux.
I'm thinking this is where Wolves get back on track.
Yeah,
Get a win.
that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe like a 2-0 or a 2-1.
I'm thinking a 1-0 against Palace. I like Palace's attack lately, but I think Wolves really have to, very much like Brighton, have to kind of tighten up. Wolves did have a little rotation out of their front line against West Ham, so you'll probably see Jimenez back in there. Maybe Chan starts again, and you get a Trincao or something with them. But Palace's defense, last game, honestly, Burnley didn't have the best of times playing against Palace's midfield, let alone getting through to their defense. I thought Palace's defense looked good, but then Milivojevic crapped all over himself.
Yeah.
If Palace get their ideal lineup, it could very well be a draw, but I'm going to go 1-0 Wolves.
Moving on to the last game of Saturday, Liverpool versus West Ham. Is this one of those games where West Ham pulls out a win at Anfield? They love to do it.
Yeah,
love
West
to
Ham
do it.
love playing the big teams. Liverpool are really clicking right now, but I mean, they're still susceptible on defense. It's just a matter of someone punishing Liverpool early. And then that'll really, I think, kind of throw them off. But yeah, I mean, all it'd take is a Jared Bowen or Antonio counterattack, and they, I'm gonna go with a draw though. I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw.
Okay. I'm going to say...
There's gonna be a lot of draws.
I'm going to say... Man, I really don't know. I'm going to say 3-2 West Ham.
I like it.
Moving on to Sunday, Watford versus Arsenal.
At the Vic.
Watford been looking pretty poor lately.
Yeah, especially in defense, to say the least. Want to see Arsenal utilizing Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe. It could be good this game. Maybe even get a Pepe sighting again.
Yeah.
See if he can get something going. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that'd be the best game for Pepe, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go with a 3-0 Arsenal victory.
I am going to say 2-0 to Arsenal.
We got the Manchester Derby.
This has got to be like
At
one
Man
of the
City.
most meh Manchester derbies.
And
That there's
you
been.
can blame Ralph Rangnick and this Man U squad for that.
I mean, also it's at the Etihad.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game should be exciting, but it's like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to be looking for is to see that Man U lineup, see if Rangnick can get it right this time. They don't have many guys that are versatile in terms of can be attack or kind of defensive minded that they can plug out there
Yeah.
in this one.
It's kind of all in or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. We saw it with their all defensive lineup, I guess. Last time is what you'd call it. I don't know how they're going to line up, but I don't feel good about it for United. But
It'll
then
be
City
interesting to
City
see.
hasn't been super inspirational with their attack. They struggled to get one past. It took Everton to crap their pants to, get a goal. So,
Lost to Tottenham.
yeah. I'm going to go with a 1-0 City one.
It'll be interesting to see which center back duo United goes with. Do they bring Maguire back into the team, or do they go with Varane and Lindelof again?
Yeah.
Um,
I think your best two are still probably Maguire and Lindelof, but,
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw.
Tottenham, Everton. This is a match you love to
This
watch.
game-
This was the first Conte game.
Yeah, and it was god awful.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What are you looking for in this one? And you can't say I'm gonna have my eyes shut, so I'm not gonna be looking.
Yeah, Everton. I'd like to see a solid defensive performance again. I want to see them score more goals, though. Richarlison, I feel like he's got to do better. There's a lot of emphasis placed on him, and he just hasn't really come up with the goals this season.
I think there's going to be a lack of midfield presence for Tottenham defensively, so I want to see from Everton mainly Anthony Gordon and Donny van de Beek kind of have a little more going forward.
Yeah.
As far as Tottenham go, I kind of want to see you hold the ball and, score a goal. I don't want it to just be a counterattack or
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you have some nice build-up. You showed that against Leeds, which, it's Leeds, but
Yeah, it counts
Still.
like half.
I know. See if Kulusevski can keep it up. He has a, goal in his first... Well, he didn't score in his first game, but he has one in each of the last two
goals
games.
and
Scored
an
against
assist.
City. Yeah, so we'll see if he can keep it up. This, I don't know his record against them, but this feels like one where Kane should probably try to start to get going too. He's doing a lot off the ball still, but he's still there to bag goals, so we need him to score some goals.
Yeah.
Did we even give a prediction?
I just realized we didn't even say a score.
Yeah, let's go Tottenham 2-1.
I'm going to say Tottenham 1-0. Yeah. So that wraps up match week 27 and kind of
We need a prediction from you.
part of 26. My prediction this time, I'm going to go a little off the cuff. I'm going to say we get a Danny Welbeck counterattack goal
I thought you
at St. James.
I thought you were going to predict someone to score for Man U. You're going to say a Juan Mata goal.
Juan Mata. Oh, my God. That'd be nutty. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. The matches on paper, some,
Not amazing, but not
some
bad.
look good, some look not great.
Some of them are just so balanced that there's no way but for it to end up in a draw
Yeah.
in my eyes. My imagination, my lack of imagination. I can't fancy anyone to
Yeah.
go on and win it.
So anyways, it's been another episode. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. You got something to say?
No.
All right. Bless up, fam.